What I have here today is the forest lantern by a company called Barebones. Now, Barebones makes a lot of different products, and they have this very cool, earthy, old school vibe across everything they make, and that definitely carries over onto their lanterns. First of all, right off the bat, just the look of the thing. That is probably my absolute favorite thing about this lantern, is just the way it looks. It has this just nice old school grit to it. It just carries the, the feel of an old like railroad lantern with all the modern convenience of a rechargeable LED. The variety I have here is what they call their antique bronze color. It's mostly black with a little bit of this bright copper color poking through here and there, mostly around hard edges. They also carry it in a red, which is more reminiscent of like an old Western railroad lantern or something. So also a very classic feel with the red, but I definitely prefer the antique bronze. Enough about the look of the thing. Let's start talking about some of the actual features. Right here on top, we have this carrying handle. It has this rubber cushion to keep your fingers nice and comfy as you're carrying the lantern around. They also have a nice embossment where it says Barebones right across here, just kind of engraved into the rubber. Right below that, they also have this little loop. I suppose the idea being that if you hung it by a rope, or hung it from a rope or a hook by this carrying handle, if the weight was not centered, it could be hanging to one side or the other. So with the loop, it just hangs nice and evenly since it's rounded at the top. Right below the handle and the loop is this protective cage. It's made of metal. It's very sturdy, protects the LED bulb and the plastic inside here. On the cage, they have this nameplate badge, which I very much like. I think a lot of companies would have opted for a plastic plate here just to save cost. Not Barebones. This is a metal plate, and that is riveted to the cage. It's not glued, it is riveted in place, so just another touch of quality. All right, let's briefly talk about the diffuser itself. We have this, it looks like there's two stages. There's an inner diffuser, which is going to spread the light out nice and even. It keeps it from being a direct beam without dampening it down too much, so the lantern is nice and bright without being too harsh. You have an outer shell of the diffuser that adds another level of protection after the cage. And if you look closely, you'll notice that the bottom of the diffuser is frosted more heavily. What that does, the LED is at the base of the lantern, so if that frost was not there, I think you would notice the LED a lot more. It's just this really hot single point of light. So the frost down here adds an extra level of diffusion. Overall, the whole diffuser column just catches the light very nicely and just gives this lantern this nice warm ambient glow. Next up is the on-off / dimmer switch. All the way to the left is off and all the way to the right is full brightness, and you can control the brightness by just setting it somewhere in between those two. So when you turn the switch on, there's this nice solid click. It feels good, it sounds good. It's like this nice tactile, real heavy, like just chunk into place. It's like, it feels great. I love it. It's great. Sounds good. All right, moving on. Right below the dimmer switch is this little panel that has 4 green LEDs. It shows the level of charge that the lantern has left. All 4 lights lit is obviously fully charged, and 1 left means it is almost dead. This also serves, when you go to plug the lantern in, this also serves to show how much charge time is left that you need. The plate surround around the LEDs matches the nameplate up here. It is also made of metal and riveted in place. Battery life depends obviously on the brightness setting that you have it on. Barebones claims that at full brightness, this lantern will last up to 4 hours, and at the lowest setting, it'll last up to 60. For more detailed specs, you can go to the Barebones website. We'll provide a link down below, and that shows you the lumens and all sorts of kind of that nitty-gritty stuff if that's your thing. So take a look if you want to know more about the more technical side of this. How do you recharge this thing? They've included this integrated USB plug that stays with the lantern, so you can just use any sort of if you have outlets that have a USB, you can plug this into your computer, or if you have, of course, just a phone charging block, and you just hook this thing right up and away it goes. Recharge time is said to be somewhere around 6 hours. Barebones was not extremely clear about this. Again, on the website, if you went to one tab, it said it would take between 4 and 6 hours, and on another tab, it said it would take up to 8, so I'm not really sure, so I just split the difference and said it'll probably take somewhere around 6, give or take an hour or 2. So either way, I would just say if your lantern is very, very dead, just plug it in overnight and you should be good to go. I will note though, like I said, I've had this for a number of years, so this is an older model. If you go to order the lantern now, it does not have this integrated USB plug. Instead, what they have opted for is a removable battery. So that makes a lot more sense to me. So if you're going camping and you don't have a power source available, you can buy extra batteries and take them with you, and you can just swap them out. All right, last thing. So if you spin around to the back, you will notice there's this little tab, which I really like the addition of this tab. It keeps, dirt and other grit out, which is really nice, but you pop this tab out and that reveals a USB plug. So what this USB plug is for is you can actually charge your phone off of the lantern. So if you're out and about and your phone is particularly dead, you can pop it into the lantern and get a little bit of extra charge off of it. All right, so overall, this is a great lantern. There's definitely some upsides to this. We also love propane lanterns here at Fort in the Woods. We use those all the time, but there's definitely some upsides to this lantern over a propane lantern in some situations. Propane lanterns or other oil lanterns get extremely hot. I have burns on myself from touching them at inopportune times. If you're in a barn or some sort and there's hay and there's dust particles in the air, a very hot lantern can cause that to go catch on fire. So an LED lantern would definitely be much more safe in that kind of environment. You're not going to burn yourself on it. This is a lot safer, a lot easier to use, very convenient. You don't have to worry about lighting it. This lantern is a definite would buy. If you can get your hands on one of these, I definitely recommend it. You should pick one up. Check out the Barebones website, link below in the description, and all that good stuff. So anyway, happy outdoor times to you people.
Okay.